and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today, we are continuing our ongoing coverage of the civil war taking place inside of the former state of Ethiopia. And today, we're just going to jump right in and give you some battlefield reports on what we are hearing and talk about some other things that are going on within the scope of the conflict. So, the situation, as we know right now, as we had talked about yesterday, it would appear that the town of Weldiya is being encircled by Tigrayan Defense Forces. We do know now that the main roads leading from Weldiya to the west towards Gashina, along the Gashina Plateau in this area here, has been cut off by the Tigrayan Defense Forces, as well as roads to the east of Weldiya as well. Furthermore, we understand that all communication has been lost from Weldiya, and at this point we would say it's highly probable that reconnaissance units of the Tigrayan Defense Forces may have already entered Weldiya as we speak. We cannot confirm that as of yet, but things are moving very, very rapidly. We continue to hear about battlefield defeats by the Abiy Loyalist forces. We understand that hundreds, possibly thousands, of ENDF, Abiy Loyalist personnel, and Amhara regional militias have been taken prisoner in the course of the ongoing battles, which started obviously north, west, and east of Kobo, and then we again saw that rapid advance to the south, in which we are now seeing Weldiya being encircled by the Tigrayan Defense Forces. It looks like, at this point, the northeastern core of the ENDF, or the Abiy Loyalist forces, made up of regular ENDF personnel and Amhara regional militias, have been defeated in and around Kobo, and that is what we are seeing now in terms of the taking of prisoners in this rapid flight south towards Mercer, Wichale, and other areas as the defeated Abiy Loyalist forces continue to flee south at this time. But again, very, very probable we are on the precipice of seeing Weldiya fall back into the hands of the Tigrayan Defense Forces. And again, just based on how quickly this has occurred, when you compare and contrast the earlier counter-invasion by the Tigrayan Defense Forces, you can absolutely see that the Abiy Loyalist forces are just in really, really poor shape in terms of both leadership and their training. And you can really see that many of these units are either fleeing upon first contact with the Tigrayan Defense Forces, are simply not really willing to fight at this point and are vacating the area, or simply surrendering at this point. So if you are a supporter of the Abiy Loyalist government, then obviously this is not looking very good for those supporters, as things seem to be collapsing rather quickly. Now, I have heard reports about an alleged column of well over, up to 200 ENDF or Abiy Loyalist trucks full of Abiy Loyalist soldiers that were transported allegedly through western Tigray into Eritrea for reasons we don't know at this point. So the big question is why would the Abiy Loyalist army move such a large contingent of its forces into Eritrea when the main body of offensive operations is counterattack by the Tigrayan Defense Forces is occurring in the direction towards Desse, and then quite possibly ultimately along the same routes of advance towards Addis Ababa, located here. So the furthest advance in the prior conflict was near Shia Robot and Debre Burhan. Now it looks like the same route, the same invasion strategy is being utilized by the Tigrayan Defense Forces. We would assume that it's very, very possible that once Weldiya falls, and we're probably already seeing that right now, we just haven't received a lot of reports, that the next cities to fall would be Lalibela and then the securing of the Gashina Plateau. And why this is so significant, it's not so much the town of Gashina, Gashina sits on a plateau that if and when the Tigrayan Defense Forces move to the west and seize control of towns such as Arbit here, they control this very, very narrow strip of land, and it's very, very easy to defend. If you look at what we're looking at here on the map, it's very, very steep mountains to the west and to the east of this plateau, which makes it very, very easy for the TDF to defend. In all probability, they'll be looking to secure this very narrow area of the plateau near Arbit to secure its left flank or its western flank as it continues to move to the south. The Abiy Loyalist forces and obviously the Amhara regional militias have strongholds in Bahir Dar and Gondar, and those forces would possibly be looking to move to the east to relieve Weldiya, Mercer, and possibly Dessay if the TDF continue to press on as rapidly as they're doing. So we'll have to watch that very, very closely. So I anticipate a holding force will be established here, running from basically Sakota, Lalibela, down towards west of Gashina along this plateau, as the TDF continue its advance, if they're looking for that knockout blow and to remove Abiy Ahmed from power. But again, that is just a hypothesis at this point. Nothing has been really established, if that is in fact the strategy. That would be my strategy, I would say. But again, that's pretty much what we're looking at. And then kind of back to the issue of the ENDF and the Abiy Loyalist forces moving into Eritrea. I don't know what good that is going to do in terms of the ongoing conflict. It's going to be very, very difficult to move all those forces if they were in fact moved, like some allege, through Western Tigray into Eritrea. And then where are they going to be moved to? Are they going to be moved north of Adigrat? Are they going to be looking at conducting operations towards Shiaro? Difficult to say, but very, very risky move if that was the case. In terms of the deployment of those ENDF and Abiy Loyalist forces that were sent to Eritrea, if that in fact happened. Just don't see how that is going to help the Abiy Loyalist forces as they are being militarily defeated right now within the confines of Weldiya, and it started out near Kobo. But difficult to say at this point. We'll have to see what happens with the days and weeks ahead. But that's where we're at right now. We do believe Weldiya is very, very close to falling. Quite possibly reconnaissance elements of the Tigrayan Defense Forces have already entered Weldiya and are continuing to move both west and south as we speak at a very, very rapid pace. And again, a much more rapid pace than the earlier conflict that took place, the earlier counter-invasion by the Tigrayan Defense Forces, which really sheds a lot of light on the capability of the Abiy Loyalist forces, which really, at this point, they just do not look to be in very good shape. They continue to surrender or flee en masse, and again, not looking good for the Abiy Loyalist forces. We'll continue to report and have more very, very soon. Thanks for joining us today. Have a good day.